So here we go, here's part 2 of that video. I've got the 2 supers that I just took off the hive. I'm moving quickly because I'm hoping to take advantage of the hive being up at 34 degrees and the supers and the honey are probably all still quite warm inside. I've borrowed the ember extractor here from Matt, and I've given it a thorough clean, blasting it in the shower with the shower head, very hot water. And I've got a bucket that's on some wood raised off the floor underneath with a double strainer. If I just take the camera off the clip, we'll let you have a good look at that. So this is the honey extractor. And one of the key things before you start, have you closed the gate? And in this case, yes. Not that it really matters because I'm straining it straight away, so actually I could probably leave it open. Yeah, why not? I'll leave it open, it's going to go straight in there. All nice and clean. I've got the supers here. I've got a heat gun there that I only use for this job. It's not used for anything else. And I'll show you how I can uncap the frames using the heat gun. Okay, here we go. Put it back on the clip. I'm just going to work away here and let you see what I'm doing. I've just thoroughly washed my hands, so I'm ready to work with food, and off we go. So this approach to uncapping is one way to do it. You've got knives and forks that can uncap as well. It's something I've done right from the start of beekeeping. I'm quite happy with it. No mess. Most of them uncapped there, and I'll drop that one in. You drop them in with the top facing outwards. Just going to lower them into there. And I'm trying to create a balanced spinner here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frame spinner. So I'll try and get 8 in and then balance the next one with the remainder. strange pattern here that they've done on this one. It's almost drone size cells that they've drawn out here and not put any honey in them at all. Very odd behaviour. Okay, so that is 2 more to do and we'll have filled the extractor. Careful not to rest the hot bit of that on my poly hive and melt it. 1 more to go in, so I'm going to move to the next one. Oh, we've got a bee in there with us. How did she get through? Let's have a look at what we've got in here now. So there we go, that's all of the frames in all of the slots of the extractor. Now I'm just going to do a quick check, make sure nothing's sticking up too far or looking odd in any way. This one is, but I don't know why. Not seated at the bottom, it just seems to be a little bit higher than the others. Okay, right, there we go. Now, we need to put a lid on for this. Put that back there. Okay. Take that off there. I've just got these Perspex covers. There's different ones on different designs of extractors. Right, let's do this. Applying a little bit of pressure to the top, and we've got a fairly well balanced set of frames here. Sometimes you do get a bit of vibration if you've got a mixture of a little bit full, a little bit empty. I imagine if you've got 40 or 50 supers to do, you'll be gunning for an electric one of these. Glasses behind me rocking away as the floor's moving. Let's make sure nothing's going to fall off. Right, we seem to be okay. Look what we have here. There is nothing better than the sight of honey coming out like that. And that's going through a double strainer, a thick mesh followed by a very, very fine mesh. So I'm just going to get hold of that again so that it doesn't go crazy. I have to admit, this is the first time that I've spun honey with an open gate at the bottom straight into a bucket, but why not? Seems to be working quite well. Keen to get feedback from people on how you do yours. Lovely clear honey coming out of the gate there. Yeah, looking good. The thing I like about the heat gun as well, I saw your comment there, Matt, the thing I like about the heat gun is there's no mess. A little bit of popping, some of the cells pop and spit out a little bit of wax, but generally there's no mess. It just opens them. You've not got cappings all over the place and then straight back into the hive in 5 minutes time. Have a look at that. So you can see the double strainer in action. The top one being the thickest one, that'll catch any parts of any bees or big lumps of wax. And then the bottom one will catch anything else. And it hasn't even started dripping into the bucket yet, so it's still going into the strainers. I think it's 8 frames, Sarah, that's in this one. And we've only got another 6 to do, so it's just a small extraction today. But that's what you get when you've only got a couple of hives. I'm not sure what the art is for knowing when to finish, but I'm just going to keep going a bit longer and try and get as much as possible out of this super. Now it is a little bit deceptive as how much honey is coming off right now and how long it came to start dripping out of the gate there, because actually the gate is higher than the bottom of the extractor, so there's always a load of honey in the bottom of the extractor and you need to tip the extractor to get another one out at an angle. I always have blocks of wood here for just holding, later on, holding the extractor at an angle so that I can get more out of it. When you've got such a small honey yield from a couple of hives, every jar counts. So the one thing I can say is, if there's honey running out of there, there's honey coming out of the frame. So I may as well keep it spinning while that's got a decent flow on it. When it stops next time, we'll take one frame out and I'll see how heavy it is. Okay, hi Willie, how you doing? We've got Sarah as well, good, and Elizabeth, nice to see you all. Thought you might enjoy this video. Right, pick a couple of frames out and we'll see how this is going. I'm expecting to be picking up quite a light frame here. Wow, yeah. Very light. All those cells nice and dry there, and really light. And one thing you can do at this point, if I just put that to one side, you can actually have a look in the extractor and see how it's building up in the bottom. So I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but that is the honey in the bottom of the extractor. And if I just turn that a touch, you can see that white sort of connection point there. That's the other side of the, it's gone to focus now, that's better. That's the other side of the gate where the honey's going out of right now. You can just see it seeping out slowly. So there's a good quantity of honey in the bottom of the extractor. It's a bit deceiving because the bottom of the extractor is cone shaped, but yeah, there's still a good quantity in there, and it's flowing nicely into here. It still hasn't gone through into the bucket yet. It's still in the strainer. So one thing to watch out with the flow that's coming out is that you don't overwhelm the strainer. So you can adjust the gate here to reduce the flow if you think the strainer's getting too full. So what I'm going to do now, since they're looking nice and empty, is move on and start uncapping the next set. I can do that whilst this is spinning a bit, so we may as well keep it spinning whilst I'm doing that. Try and get as much as possible out. So that's one frame back in, so we've got a balanced extractor. I'll set this spinning again and I'll start uncapping again over there. Always handy to have an assistant doing these things. So we'll leave that running there, and I'm going to move over and do some uncapping over here. Sorry about that, a bit of camera movement there, just getting the stand adjusted. Right, so again, I can keep this spinning again. May as well keep it spinning whilst I'm uncapping rulers. There's a random thing that you don't see very often. That's actually a play cup in the middle of a super. Doesn't happen very often. They're thinking about queen cells up there. We have had the situation where the workers have carried eggs up into the super before, but it doesn't happen very often. For some reason the heat gun's having no effect on a couple of cells on this one. It must be some kind of different honey that's in there. I'm not able to pop them, so I'm just going to get a fork from the kitchen and we'll just pop them with a fork. Paranoia kicks in when you think you've left a gate open on the bottom there. Always check the gate. You never know, you might have left it open. Right, let's see how these guys are doing in here. So, for those of you that just joined and didn't get to see what's going on in here, this is an 8-frame extractor, and you can see the way that I've loaded them in. The top of the frame is on the outside of the extractor. So there you go, and I will swap those for the next 6 frames that need to be done. So we should be able to go one in, one out. very obvious which one is which. It was back-breaking work carrying those two in. They were very heavy supers. Can't quite do one in, one out because I need to leave a gap here because we've only got 6 frames going in. I need a balanced extractor, otherwise it will jump all over the place. I've got 4 facing 2, so I need to move this one over to give me 3 facing 3. Just like the tyres on a car, it needs to be balanced. Let's have a look at what we've got in this. So plenty of honey down the bottom, and I've done 3, a gap, and 3 and a gap, and that's for the 8 frame extractor, and that will be balanced. And it's still running away nicely here, and it's now starting to fill the bucket underneath as well. So we're looking good there. I'll kick off this, kick off extracting this now as well. Right, here we go. Very heavy to get going when you've got new frames, and I always start slowly and try and let it balance itself out a little bit. And someone's going to ask me how much weight of honey we get out of this, how many jars. The answer is I don't know, it depends. I'm using Manly spaced frames in the supers, so they are very fat super frames. It's my preference to do that. You get a deeper drawn cell on a Manly spacing. Okay, I'm just going to take a little break there and say that, let me turn that around. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that and see how that goes. I'm going to finish extracting those 6 frames now, and I will. I'll put them straight back on the hive. Let the bees clean them up. So I'm not too worried about it being perfectly dry because the bees are going to pick up anyway. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you later. Goodbye.